Hello, so right now I'm in my classroom. I have no classes right now, so I decided to just record something. You can hear the children in the background in the gym doing like PE, I think. I want to talk about my experience with the co-teacher. I don't know if everyone is aware about the co-teaching system. I wasn't really aware of it that well until I did the orientation with EPIK. Yeah, so basically what it is, when you teach in a public school in Korea, you will have a co-teacher that will generally is like a Korean English teacher, and you will work together to teach the English classes. And yeah, so generally your co-teacher will take care of you and teach with you and plan with you, and yeah, anything you need and stuff you could generally just ask them, and they're your go-to people. For me though, I've had a very different experience than what is normally a normal co-teaching experience. So first of all, like my school is really tiny, and I'm really in the countryside. Like I'm literally in like the rice fields. Like outside my window, I can see where the rice is growing. So I'm in a really tiny school. There's only about 40 students, so there's really not many. So we have generally schools will have like it's usually from like elementary schools, grade 1 to 6, and usually you have like each year level will have like several different classes, so like 1A, 1B or something like that. But my school is so small that we only have one class for each level, and each class is not even big enough to be an actual class in like a normal size school. So my grade 6 class, for example, is only 4 students, and my biggest class is my grade 4s, I think. Yeah, grade 4, which is 8 students, which is still not much at all. So yeah, my school is really tiny. So we have just one. We really just have one teacher for each year level, and because of that, I'm actually the only English teacher. I'm actually the one who, I'm just the English teacher. I teach the classes. So I don't actually have like the normal system where there's me working with the Korean English teacher and we teach the classes together. It's usually just I plan my own classes. I decide everything I want, or anything that I think. Like I just plan everything on my own, and then I teach them alone. But sometimes like the homeroom teacher, like the grade 5 teacher or the grade 6 teacher or something, they will help me a little bit, but they kind of just like wait for me to come in, and then I do what I've planned. And if they want, they will like write something on the board that I'm saying, or they will help me with like setting up the computer, or they will maybe try to explain something in Korean sometimes. But it's not that often. The only thing is I do actually have a co-teacher. So my co-teacher is the grade 6 teacher, and I think he's qualified to be a Korean English teacher, but he is actually in this school he's actually the grade 6 teacher, so he's not actually the Korean English teacher. He's just qualified to be. So I think that's why he chose to be the co-teacher. Or I don't know what the system is for Korean teachers becoming a co-teacher, but I'm assuming he chose that. So because of that, he tends to only with the grade 6 class, he tends to take the lead most of the time. So we have like a kind of system with the grade 6 class where he kind of teaches them in his way, where I assist them like kind of with pronunciation, and like if he has any questions about like, is this a natural thing that they're saying in the textbook, something like that. And then yes, I'm just kind of like their native English resource when he's leading. And then there's days where I lead, where I like make them do like games and other stuff like that, because I think for him, he's worried about his own class, because they have to do the test to go into middle school and their level is really low. So kind of change it up a bit. But yeah, so from my experience, I've been mostly been teaching alone, and doing everything alone, planning alone, and I had no idea what I was doing from the beginning. Like I just had to just jump in and just do everything from on my own. So I was just kind of like following the textbook. I had no idea how to do anything. Like no one explained anything to me. I just had to go with what I learned through orientation, which doesn't really work really well in my tiny school. So I had to it took me a while to learn. But yeah, so this has been a really difficult experience. But even though I have this kind of experience, I think I really do like this. Like I want to try the other kind of experience where you're actually working with the co-teacher. But I think both ways there's a lot of pros. Like of course there's cons of both, but there's a lot of pros of this too. So I really do want to what I wanted to say is that I think coming here, even though there are things that are meant to be like that we're always told about as a possible future teacher or as a current teacher, we're always told about these things like you're going to have a co-teacher that you have to work with, or there's many things that we're always being told about living and working in Korea. I think one of the important things to consider is that the things that we're always told, even in EPIK orientation or even by EPIK directly, I think those things are like a kind of general fact, but it doesn't apply to every situation, every person, because almost everything that I learned about working as a EPIK teacher, a lot of it doesn't apply to me. So just like the general stuff about the contract and stuff applies to me, but all the other stuff like the actual work life here and the way I'm living here is very different from what I've been told by them. So they always tell me about how the co-teaching system works and how we have to make lots of like PowerPoints and stuff like that, but it's actually not that. Yeah, it's not as it's not really that way that as I've been told. So I think it's better to just be open-minded and to really not be not to really stick to what you're hearing and just be ready to be surprised, I think, because I think pretty much everyone is going to be surprised by things here.